Somehow, Letterboxd Roulette has returned. There are still so many movies on my watch list, so let's pick something at random and review it. Here we go. Today's video is going to be about Monkey Shines, a George Romero film I actually haven't seen. So this will be good. I'm doing my homework here. Monkey Shines is so ridiculous, I can't believe it was George Romero's first studio picture. The fact that he chose to sign on to this killer monkey movie after creating the masterpiece that is Day of the Dead will never not be funny to me. I knew very little about this movie before watching it, by the way, so I did not realize it was literally about a monkey. I remember seeing the cover art for Monkey Shines when I was young and thinking it was an adaptation of the Stephen King story The Monkey, so in my head, I think I was still expecting a haunted object movie. And just to be fair to my younger self here, it would have made sense if this was a Stephen King film, considering how frequently George Romero and him collaborated. Before we continue, I have a confession to make. As an animal lover, I don't say this lightly, but monkeys annoy the shit out of me. Every time I was at the zoo as a kid and someone was like, let's go see the monkeys, I was like, can we not? I've never found them particularly cute, but it's the screeching that really drives me up the wall. I know this is an irrational one-sided beef, but I've been silent about this ever since Ross got Marcel on Friends. Monkeys were really overrepresented in media for a while there, and let's just say I'm glad we moved on. While Monkey Shines isn't based on a Stephen King story, it is an adaptation of a book by English author Michael Stewart. I would love a feature-length documentary all about how this story was pitched to movie studios. How did anyone convince the people over at Orion Pictures to invest $7 million into a story about a quadriplegic man fighting a killer monkey with telepathy? They spent real money on this, and it must have been an absolute nightmare to shoot with all these damn monkeys running around. I feel like I'm losing my mind here. And here's the kicker, the movie is 113 minutes long. That's almost 2 hours. It's simply too much movie for a concept this silly. They even managed to cram in a romance subplot somewhere in this script because fuck it, why not, I guess. I'm really glad I finally watched Monkey Shines because I didn't know it was going to be this bonkers, but I also don't think it's a very good movie. I might even say it's my least favorite George Romero film I've seen so far, and I know there's some really bad ones. They clearly made an attempt to tell a heartfelt story about a man who loses everything in a tragic accident and then has to find himself again. These early emotional moments actually work pretty well as the main character is trying to deal with the emotional trauma of losing movement in most of his body. People treat him differently, and some people, like his girlfriend, just straight up leave. I like all of this stuff, but I don't think it jives with the rest of the movie. As soon as these damn monkeys come into the picture, everything else in the story just gets muddled and lost. I think the movie would have been a lot better if they fully committed to doing something more serious, or if they had cut down the runtime to 90 minutes. And then they could have made a really fun, fast-paced creature feature. Now it's somewhere in between, and neither part worked very well for me. I know George Romero had a very specific type of humor, and sometimes it does come through, but my main criticism of Monkey Shines is that it's just not fun enough. Yes, the plot is ridiculous, but very little of that whimsy comes across on screen. As expected, Tom Savini did the special effects here, but none of the violence, except for a very few moments at the end, are shown on screen. And look, the first time you see a POV monkey shot, it's kind of fun, but the novelty quickly wore off for me. In a lot of ways, Monkey Shines seemed like the type of 80s bullshit that I would really enjoy, but the further I got into it, the more it pushed me away. Maybe it's my anti-monkey bias coming through, I don't know, but I thought Monkey Shines was quite awful. And that's it from me today. As I've said before, I have been accused of hating fun when it comes to movies, and this could definitely be one of those cases. It seems like other people are able to appreciate the ridiculousness of this movie, but I just couldn't quite get there. Anyways, I'll be back with another one of these tomorrow, so if that sounds interesting to you, subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, all that stuff really helps out. Hopefully we'll talk about something I like just a little bit more next time. Okay? Bye.